Tornado is the kind of movie that grabs your attention with its unique idea. A mix of samurai drama and Wild West action, but then slowly loses its magic along the way. It sounds like something that could be amazing, right? You have a young, mysterious girl with a sword, a dusty Western setting, a classic revenge tale, and even veteran actor Tim Roth playing the villain. With all that, it should have been unforgettable. But sadly, Tornado only partially delivers on the promise it makes. It's got some strong performances and exciting moments, but it also feels like it's holding back a little too much. It builds a beautiful, slow-burning atmosphere, but then doesn't quite know how to fully bring it all together in a satisfying way. The movie is directed by John McClane, who previously made Slow West, another Western that leaned more on quiet storytelling and visual beauty. Tornado definitely shares that vibe. This one follows two traveling puppeteers, Tornado, played by newcomer Kôki, and Fujin, played by Shogun star Takehiro Hira, who live peacefully away from the chaos of the world. Fujin enjoys performing puppet shows for children, but Tornado feels like there's more out there for her. She's not fully satisfied with her small life, and soon she gets her chance to break out. That chance comes when she and another young troublemaker end up getting their hands on a bag full of stolen gold. The catch? The gold belongs to a nasty gang known as the Sugarman Crew, led by the cold and calculated Sugarman himself, Tim Roth. As expected, things spiral into chaos fast. People die, violence erupts, and the peaceful lives of Fujin and Tornado are destroyed. When things get personal, very personal, Tornado picks up her sword and sets off on a vengeful rampage that slowly and bloodily picks off every member of the gang. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? And sometimes it is. But in between those moments, the movie struggles to keep up its energy. There are definitely a few things that Tornado gets right, especially when it comes to the cast. Kôki is incredible in her first big role. Her character starts out quiet, almost shy, but you can feel something stronger bubbling under the surface. As the movie goes on, she transforms into a fierce avenger with sharp moves and laser focus. It's not a loud performance, but it's powerful. She knows how to express so much with just her eyes and movements. Her physical acting during the action scenes, even when the pacing is slow, keeps your eyes glued to the screen. Then there's Tim Roth, always a reliable villain. But here he goes a different route. He plays Sugarman not as a loud, in-your-face bad guy, but as someone quiet and calm, which somehow makes him even scarier. You never really know what he's going to do next, and that unpredictability adds tension to every scene he's in. Other actors like Takehiro Hira add depth to the film too, though some of the relationships and backstories, like Tornado and Fujin's shared history, are only lightly touched on and not fully explored. The story itself is pretty simple. A classic revenge plot with no extra side quests. That's not a bad thing though. Sometimes simple works best, especially when you're dealing with such strong themes like betrayal, grief, and vengeance. The problem is that even with a simple story, the movie doesn't always feel like it's going anywhere. Scenes drag. Moments of silence last a little too long. And while it's supposed to be a slow burn, there's a fine line between slow and boring, and Tornado tiptoes on that line more than once. Visually, the movie also feels like a missed opportunity. Cinematographer Robbie Ryan, who has worked on stunning films like The Favorite and Poor Things, brings his signature eye to the table. But unlike those visually rich films, Tornado takes a more muted and traditional approach. The colors are washed out and pale, which might be intentional to give the movie a dry, harsh desert feel, but it ends up making everything look kind of dull. When you mix that with long, quiet takes during action scenes, it creates a weird contrast. Tornado's fights are supposed to feel intense and dramatic, but the way they're shot almost drains the energy out of them. And that's really Tornado's biggest issue. It keeps promising that something explosive is going to happen, and sometimes it does, but the build-up rarely matches the payoff. For a movie that tries to blend two high-energy genres like samurai films and westerns, it doesn't quite hit the right balance. It's more like a western with a few samurai touches sprinkled on top, instead of a full mashup of both styles. Most of the samurai flavor only shows up near the end, and by then it feels a bit too little, too late. That final showdown, though, is one of the best parts of the film. Tornado faces off against Sugarman in a scene that finally gives you the tension and emotion you've been waiting for. It's brutal, personal, and well acted, and it kind of makes you wish the whole movie had leaned more in that direction from the start. The final scenes remind you why you stuck around through all the slow moments. Unfortunately, by then it may be too late for some viewers to care. Tornado isn't a bad movie. It's more of a what could have been movie. You'll walk away thinking about the scenes that worked, the performances, the final fight, some of the music and imagery, but also all the parts that felt like they needed more energy or imagination. It's the kind of film that might be appreciated more over time, maybe by fans of experimental genre movies or slow, artistic revenge stories. But for most people it won't leave a strong impression. It's not exciting enough to be a full-on action film, and not deep enough to be a full drama. It's caught somewhere in between. To sum it up, Tornado had all the right ingredients to be something special. A unique genre mix, a strong cast, an emotional revenge plot, but it just didn't bring it all together in a satisfying way. It's a slow movie that feels even slower because it doesn't visually or emotionally push the boundaries it sets up. It plays things too safe in a story that should have been wild and bold. With a different director, or maybe just a few different creative choices, this could have been an indie breakout hit of the year. Instead, it's a film with plenty of style, just not enough soul. Maybe in the future, people will rediscover Tornado and see it differently. It has moments of beauty and talent, no doubt. But as it stands now, it's more of a missed opportunity than a must-watch movie. You'll admire it, but you probably won't remember it for long.